So what's up, guys? I promised to do this one for a while. I've been saying I wanted to make a video like this to because I have a lot of friends and co-workers who have been talking about getting a motorcycle or have recently got a motorcycle, and there's countless tutorials online and really good videos like Twist of the Wrist 2. Even if you get a lot from this, I recommend you go watch Twist of the Wrist 2. It's seriously one of the best motorcycle videos ever made. But I've been wanting to make a video that just kind of covers the basics of riding, just so that if you're on the fence about it, you can see just how easy it is. Got a cruiser to wait. And I mean, I'm not going to cover stuff like clutch control and starting up the bike and stuff. You can practice that kind of stuff in your driveway or on your street in a pretty safe environment. I'm going to cover the like once you're out on the road kind of stuff. Tip number one though, always wear gear. Like, sorry, I just got a weird notification on my phone I was listening to in my headset. These are not a normal pair of jeans. They have armor in them, and they're lined with Kevlar in all of the high impact, or in the areas where you're most likely to slide, like your ass and the front thighs, I think. Plus I got this textile jacket on, and first thing you always want to do is just always wear gear, even if it's just, oh, I'm going to go to the grocery store, it's only like a mile out. Just wear your gear. Tip number two, I would say, like one of the most common mistakes people made when they make when they first ride a motorcycle is they're not sitting and gripping it properly. Just because of the way these things look, like the handlebars, you think that this is where you're gripping, like your hands grip. That's what we're used to, your hands grip things, but this is an input device. You're only using this to steer. All of the grip comes from your thighs. Like, you should be clamped down on this gas tank. Like, there's a reason I can let go completely and still be on the bike. The thighs are doing all of the work keeping me on. I'm only using my hands to counter steer. I'll cover that too. Because what I'm doing right now, as I'm going around this corner, I'm actually pushing forward on this right bar, which there's a reason they call it counter steering. It's counterintuitive. You think if you want to go left that you would pull left on this bar to turn the front wheel to the left, but it's actually the opposite because of the way a bike leans in order to corner. Try to demonstrate it on a safer corner up here. But my hands are very loose. Like I'll take this turn right now. You'll see my left hand's not even on it, and my four fingers on this side aren't even gripping it. Like, always keep a very loose but secure grip on your handlebars. Because if you ever see those videos of people on bicycles or motorcycles, they get those speed wobbles. The bike just starts shaking really violently, and sometimes the rider even gets bucked off. And when the rider does get bucked off, you actually sometimes see the bike continue, it straightens itself up and just continues forward for like a few hundred feet before it finally falls over when it has no speed left. And that's because it was the rider who was causing it to shake so violently. If you're gripping the handlebars too tight, then the bike is trying to correct itself. Like, when a bike is moving, the gyroscopic effect of the rotating wheels, like, it keeps itself straight. All you're doing is tilting it side to side and getting it to turn and stuff, but it will go straight by itself. So if you're gripping the handlebars too tight and it starts shaking like that, you're preventing itself from correcting itself. You're preventing it from correcting itself. So keeping a nice, loose but secure grip on the handlebars means that you can let the bike do the work that it's supposed to do, and all you're doing is telling it where to go. That to me is like one of the most important things ever, because a tight grip can cause some of the most dangerous scenarios that you're going to encounter on a motorcycle. But yeah, as for counter steering, it's a very counterintuitive thing. Like when I come up to this corner right here, I need to be going faster to demonstrate this. I'll do it on the straightaway. So I'm going to take my hands off the bar and I'm going to push them with my fists so you can see without a shadow of a doubt that I'm not pulling or pushing on anything. To make this turn, I'm pushing forward on that left bar. You see, I did that with my fist, so there's absolutely no way that I could be pulling on that. I was pushing forward on the left bar, and that caused the bike to tilt to the left. Almost all of a motorcycle steering comes down to tilting. It has to lean in order to the corner. There's just no way around that. That's physics. So as I'm coming around this corner right now, I'm gently pushing forward on the right bar and pulling down on the left bar, pulling the left bar towards me. And it's as simple as that. It's one of those things where a lot of people, they do it intuitively. Like, they'll get on a motorcycle and they'll go around a corner and they're doing all the right things. They just don't know what they're doing right. And that's totally fine. If you're able to operate something intuitively like that, that's totally awesome. I do think it's important to understand the mechanics of why it works, though, and what you're doing, because in scenarios like if there was an object in front of me, like some kind of road hazard, like say it's approaching on the right, I need to counter steer to the left and swerve out of the way like that. That's one of the few times where I'm actively thinking about the fact that I'm counter steering, that if something is on my right, I need to push forward on the left. Otherwise, when you're like just coming up on a corner like this, your body takes care of the work. You just kind of look where you want to go, and it's amazing what the human brain and body do in conjunction with one another. It just takes you where you want to go. Speaking of which, really, really important when cornering to look through the corner where you want to go. Don't look too close to yourself. Don't look like 10, 20 feet away from the front tire. Look as far through the turn as you possibly can. That's why, like, lane positioning wise, you should go as wide as possible, like right here. Stay wide, stay wide, stay wide until you can see the end of the turn, and then cut in. You're going to see a lot of videos online that teach you the outside, inside, outside lane positioning that you use in racing. Like you enter wide, go in to clip the apex, and then run wide again. And that is absolute perfect track behavior, but I don't think it translates 100% to the road, because on the track there's no road debris or oncoming traffic to worry about. So like if I take a left turn up here and I try to clip the apex perfectly, that's me practically touching the double yellow where a lot of cars are going to be running wide, and that's just bad news. Don't do that. I mean, on a turn like this it's totally fine because it's the white line and the only thing over here is an emergency lane. But for the road, you're going to want to stay as wide as possible for as long as you can throughout the turn until you can see the end of it. This keeps you out of the way of oncoming traffic, and it also gives you the farthest eyesight, the farthest eye line to see any road hazards that are around the corner. So if I stay wide right here, I'm about as far out as I could possibly get. This means I could see farther around the corner than if I was closer to the inside. It's really, really important. The number one way to stay safe on a motorcycle is to see accidents before they come. You make yourself visible to others, but you also make sure that you are as aware of your surroundings as you could possibly be. yeah, looking through the corner. So looking through the corner is important for reasons other than like just seeing that there's hazards up ahead. Your body and brain have this uncanny ability to, even if you're completely unfamiliar with the mechanics of a motorcycle or any two-wheeled vehicle with handlebars, it has this weird uncanny ability to direct you wherever you're looking. Just look at any of those America's Funniest Home videos or YouTube clips of like an 8-year-old kid or like some 50-year-old grandma getting on a dirt bike for the first time, and they fucking dump the clutch and they're throttling and they're completely out of control, and they'll hit like the one tree in the entire park. And that's because of a thing called object fixation. They're looking at the thing that they don't want to hit, but for some reason, even though they've never been on a bike before and they don't understand how to control it, their brain will find a way to get them to hit that thing that they're fixated on. So like fixate on the driving line. Keep your eyes directed towards where you want to go, not where you want to avoid, and everything else comes naturally. I promise you. Like, if I was looking to my left right now at the traffic that was coming towards me, other than just like looking at it in my peripheral, if I focus my gaze on like someone's license plate, the bike will kind of want to go where my eyes are looking. It's a really weird thing. So as long as like I'm looking pretty much right there, I was looking at that part of the turn for the duration of that corner, and I wasn't thinking about anything else. My hands took care of the rest. Those are really the few points that I want to stress the most. I mean, anything else you can see online about how to shift, clutch control, all of the basics like that, the stuff that you'll have to learn to pass your DMV test. But once you get out on the road, those are a few of the most important things. Just always wear your gear, grip the bike correctly, grip with your thighs, not with your hands, use your hands only as a very light input device, and look through the corners. You do all those things and stay aware of your surroundings. Do your best to stay visible in driver's mirrors. Look as far ahead on the road as possible to avoid obstacles. You're golden. It's really simple. Riding a motorcycle is so much easier than people make it out to be. Oh, we just passed a Pokestop, I forgot. There's a turnout, like 2 turnouts behind me, it's a Pokestop. It's completely useless to me though because I have no service up here. You know, this turn actually reminds me, I'm gonna add this as like an additional pro tip. Don't get a low riding cruiser as your first bike. Get something that has available lean angles, like a sport bike or a small displacement sport bike, weighs like nothing above 600, or a standard or a sport touring or something, not a cruiser with huge ass exhaust pipes coming in. Because that corner right there, I saw a guy scrape his pegs on a Harley going, it couldn't be any more than 40. And when you're learning, you don't want those kind of limitations on your bike. You want the limitations to be you and your experience. So if you're trying to learn how to turn and the bike gives up on you because the exhaust hits the road or something like that, that's going to be no fun. It's going to turn you off of bikes. It's going to scare you. It's going to make you think that you can never go fast around a turn, and you're just going to give up. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. So just get like, I mean, just throw out some recommendations of first bikes. I mean, like the Yamaha R3. If it existed at the time that I was in the market for this little 250, I would have easily gone with that bike. The Yamaha R3 is fantastic. Yamaha R3 is mostly on-road but off-road capable sport adventure bike. That thing is fantastic. Even maybe like a small Harley Sportster 800 or something like that. Just not a low riding cruiser. Everybody panics right here. It's so fucking annoying. Zipper formation, people. That digital behavior where people are either on the gas or on the brakes. Like, you're on the highway, if you just let off the throttle a little bit, you're gonna slow down enough for someone to make a lane change.